What's up, guys? Garrett here again. First off, I wanted to thank Joji and Victor. Gave me a shout out yesterday. Really appreciate that. They did a live kind of giving us an update on their tool, the Bookmine. So go check that out if you haven't. Anyways, today we'll do some sourcing. I'm going to get into kind of, just exactly how I do it. It's not anything I haven't done in the past, but, I feel like it helps because it's something that I struggled with, trying to just like grasp a picture of like what does sourcing look like whenever I first started. And it's not really anything too revolutionary or anything, but it gets the job done. First though, I'll go over my sales. This is just the dashboard for Seller Board that I always have up, just to keep track of all my expenses and income and all that. If you want to check it out, I got a link. I'll put a link in the description down below. But for today, I woke up to I don't know, hold on. I woke up to a really good sale, but it's not showing me today. Let me refresh a little bit. Excuse me. There we go. So I woke up today to this $199 sale. This Campbell Biology in Focus. This is actually the second one I sold. Sold the other one at $199 yesterday. And I wanted to go into this book because it's kind of an interesting book. $28.97 is what I bought it for. Sold it for $199.99 and ended up with a gross profit of $131.50 with just this book, which, heck yeah, that's a flip there. But I wanted to show this book because look at this Keepa graph. You can see that this is the 3-month view, and you can see that it just popped up just now, and I sold 2 of them just now. But look at the offer count. Like, if someone wants to buy this book from Amazon and get it, quickly for like the prime shipping, they're gonna have to spend that money, good money, in order to get it, because there's not too many options. That this is whenever the books become like super valuable, whenever there's next to no sellers, but the demand is still high. But another reason why this book is kind of special and strange is I actually didn't put this on my repricer. So that $199.99 is what my prep center listed it at, right? So I didn't price it at $199. My prep center did, and then I'm supposed to go in and reprice it, but it sold too quickly that I didn't get to it. It may not have been too quick, but I don't know. When I buy it, June 13th. It's probably been sitting for a little bit. I get behind on my repricing. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is the regular price. If I would have went in there and priced this, I bought it for $28. I probably would have put the peak at like maybe 105. Something like that. Just going off of the previous data. Like, this is the length of its entire existence on Amazon, and look, it never really breaks 110. It always stays below 110, excuse me. And if I was to go in and reprice it, I probably would have put my max at like 105 and then the bottom at 60, 70, something like that. But some books will surprise you. Like this book, for some reason, it just is performing very, very well this year. And so it went all the way down to only 1 or 2 sellers, and that's what caused the price to rise so much, all the way up here at that $199 price. And I just wanted to kind of explain or show this book because it's like, you're looking at Keepa graphs all the time, and you're looking for these perfect Keepa graphs to show you exactly what you want to see. But this is a great example of a really good Keepa graph, but it's not something like revolutionary. It's not something that you shouldn't, from the past historical data, you shouldn't be able to sell it at $199.99. More like around the $100 price. But just because that demand is so high, and what came together is the demand was so high, and the amount of the book available was too low. The supply was too low, and so the price skyrockets. So it's just a good example of a book that you kind of it's unexpected. Like next year, I'm not going to be buying this book like deep, even though it did really well this year. It might end up, going back to where it was and not doing so hot. You never know. It could do just as good. But it's just, sometimes you get those lucky breaks, and this is one of them that I got today and yesterday. Just because the demand is so high and the supply is so low. But anyways, that's just something I wanted to kind of bring to you guys' attention, because it's it's not always cut and dry. You can't always. I'm trying to come up with a standard operating procedure for my sourcing, and man, there's a lot of variables to it. You can't say, well, if a book is this price and it sells for this price, buy it. There's other variables. There's how many are available. Are there some sellers that have a huge quantity, and stuff like that. There's just a lot of other aspects to it that you have to take in consideration. That way you don't get burnt. This looks good. Is this available? This is a good one. Yeah. Right off the bat. Someone hopped on it. This was a good one. I was going to go for this one for sure. This is the 3-month view, and you can see that it's selling like crazy. From what I've kind of gathered is you see all these Keepa drops, this green line is the sales rank drops. Every time it drops, it's supposedly a sale. But from what I've seen, it doesn't always drop whenever there's a sale. It's probably selling more than what it's showing. But aside the fact, even if it wasn't, and it was only selling as much as this book is selling like crazy. And the demand is super high. You can't even keep it in stock, except for collectible, because the collectible is so really expensive. But you can't even keep this in stock. So this is a book that would be huge, but you see it's right here. This is the book I want, but it's not letting me add it. So we'll move on. But that would have been a perfect one. This one doesn't look bad. Bring Jim. But those books, at the price that I would have got it for, like $12-13, something like that with shipping, and selling at $49, those are like the you're not gonna get rich selling one of those books. You know what I'm saying? It's not really like that by any means, but those are the bread and butters. Those are the ones that you want to be able to get a whole bunch of, or try to get a whole bunch of, because those are the ones that people might overlook, because it's not a great return, I guess I should say. There's a lot of ROI. You're 100% in your ROI if you can sell at that $49 price or higher. Gosh darn it. Take it. I have an old computer, so it makes me do the fingerprint thing. One of these days I'll update. Sorry, I gotta log in, because if I'm not logged in, I can't see if I'm eligible or not to sell it. And this is definitely a textbook with the Oxford. And sometimes Oxford is gated. No, we're good. Okay. Back to where we were. Let's see. We're at 1173. Looks like someone already hopped on it. Quick tip that I've given before in one of my other videos is if you're looking at a product and you're like, dang, this is really good. Especially if you're looking at the Keepa graph and you see okay, 1173, and then you look up here, this price is going to be the lowest that's offered, which means that even though the Keepa chart isn't telling you, it's saying that it's, the lowest price is down here. That's what this black line is, the lowest used price. Even though it's saying that it's down here at 1173, if you look up here and the price is at 40 for this example, then that means that someone's already bought this 1173 and it's no longer available. Just a quick little tip, that way you can shave off a couple seconds on your sourcing time, because every second matters. Trying to get to where you can optimize it down to the T. This one traditional OA seller that I was listening to on YouTube was always like saying, excuse me, was always saying that, every time you come to a product, look for the reason not to sell it. What's the reasons not to sell it? If you look for that, then you'll be able to get quick at saying no to a product, rather than looking for reasons to sell it. Because then you make kind of mistakes, because you're like, well, it has this, it may not have that, but it has this, and then you're like, okay, kind of bending your own rules when it comes to that. And you want to be a little strict on yourself with this, not like to the point where you're never able to buy a book, because it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to have everything marked off on your list. But you can pretty much, what it is as long as you can get the majority of your marks checked off. If you can say, well, it sells good, it sells fast, the demand's high, the price is low, but for some reason it's acceptable or something, like that's you don't want to buy acceptable books most of the time, but it's like, okay, well, it's a Goodwill seller, so I know that it's going to be decent at least. You're not going to be able to check off all the boxes, but just want to be able to try to check off most of the boxes. Big one for me, every time I come to a book, it's, are you eligible? Yes, I am eligible. What's the price? I'm always trying to get to that 100%, ROI. It doesn't always happen. But if I can get above 50, I think 50 is a good cutoff spot. That way, if by chance you hit that, or you get it and it doesn't quite hit 50 and actually the price actually goes lower, then you can adjust it and buy it or sell it at least 30% or something. If you start buying whenever you're expecting to get 30%, then you're getting real close to getting a whole lot of books sold underneath making any money. At least if you buy it at 50%, you'll at the worst case scenario get your money back. But that's just kind of how I look at it. Everyone is different. You'll find your kind of comfortable spot. That's just where I'm at with my risk tolerance, I guess. Some people are more risky. I probably would say that I'm more not risky. What is that called? Conservative. I like to be conservative. That way, if everything just goes wrong, I'm at least, getting my money back. I'm at least, maybe losing, a couple dollars, and it's not really going to affect me that much. But that's not to say I haven't really took hits on books, man. Just recently I bought a book for $4 or something, expecting to sell it at $200, and the price never bounced back, and my repricer, I think it was my repricer, I don't know, I messed up. I know I messed up, and I priced it way too low. I think at the 70 price, what I bought it for, and something happened, and I messed up, and I sold it for the price that I bought it. So I ended up losing $30-some on that one book, and I was just like, ooh, that one hurt. That one hurt a lot. You're gonna have to go through some of those, though. Those are great learning experiences. But they, you live and learn. I've bought countless of books that are, not selling, or I sold for a loss or whatever, but I've bought twice as many that I did sell for a profit, or that one book, crazy profit, whew. Math books, man. The very first book that I ever sold on Amazon, the very first product that I ever sold on Amazon was a math book. That from then on, it was this is what I'm doing. That's been, man, over 3 years ago now when I started this. Wasn't taking it serious like I am now, but when I started, it was just thrifting. I was watching the Raking Profits and the Roamers and learning the thrifting side of it. Thrifting's cool, it's fun, but it's hard to scale that. And what would really frustrate me about thrifting is like I'd drive to a spot and I'd go and scan through it, and I would know that someone else had been there before me, or someone's there while I'm there scanning as well, and then it just becomes this awkward competition thing. And some people are chill, some people they're not. they're kind of hovering over you a little bit, looking at the books that you're getting. We had one dude come up, grab a book out of my cart, go, hey, can I look at this? And I was just like, I guess, at least he didn't rob me, I guess, but it was just awkward. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I could tell that he was not happy that I was there, but there's competition here. Like, I don't get it twisted. But it's not as, there's millions of books, man. There's so many books on Amazon. It's pretty amazing how many books there actually are. So like yes, there's competition, but if anybody's tried traditional OA, like where you're buying like brand new products from the Walmarts and Kohl's and stuff, flipping it on there, now that's competition. That's heavy competition. And then like me showing you this, like I was doing a little bit of recording on my OA business whenever I was doing the traditional stuff. I wouldn't be able to show you this. Like, if I showed you what I sold, then that new product would be found. Someone would find where I bought it, go and swoop it up, and then I'd be SOL because, now I got 20 people that have shared it to their buddies, then hopping on the listing, and then the great product that I had found that I've been selling for months tanks, and now it's no longer good because I showed you my screen on YouTube, and it's just too much competition. I like this openness where I can show you exactly what I sold. Like, yeah, go buy this, if you find it for a good price, because you're not finding it for a good price right now. But remember this book, buy it in, 2-3 months, whenever the price is low, and sell it for that price, maybe. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a fluke thing that it went so high. But you can try to sell it for that price in January, And even if 10 or 20 people jump on it, it don't matter. It don't matter. We'll still make our money because there's just so many other books. Because even if this book tanked and is no longer good because 50 people jumped on it or something, it doesn't matter. You can go and find books that will sell. There's just so many options out there, man. And you just gotta learn this process. This is a high value learning thing. Joji's got his course, which is what helped me get this thing going. They've got the Books and Beyond, what do you call that? God dang it, drawing a blank here. Conference, Books and Beyond conference still going on in Vegas, which would be sick to go to. And I'm not gonna be able to make it this year, but next year I'm gonna get my money right and I'll be there. But as for now, anyways, they've got I don't know what I'm doing. It's too early in the morning right now. Anyways, they've got a lot of resources that you can use in order to, step your game up in this high value, process here. Is this, like, man, they were talking about it last night, this, you're not, if you go in any other direction in Amazon, there's a lot of work for little margins. But you can look at this book right here. And then again, this is anomaly. It's pretty high, crazy book, but it happens quite often. And once you get better at this, you can make it happen even more often. But look at this. My margins are 65%, guys. Like, I made 65% margins on one book, made $131 profit on one book. You know what I'm saying? And ROI, if you want to go off of that metric, it's, 453. That's insane. Like, you cannot go to Walmart and buy a product and get 65% margins. You're struggling to get 10. You're struggling to get, 12. Like 65% margins. If you're getting that off of new products, you're buying a scam. And that's just the way it is, like you're not buying an actual product that's real. It's faked somehow. They've done something to it, or they've ordered off of Wish or something, or Temu now, I don't know. But it's not legit. You're getting scammed somehow. And man, did I get scammed a lot. I got scammed so much with that method, and it just wasn't for me. Like, there's people making tons of money on it, but see, like, if you look back at my months from previous year, 2023, I was actually making more sales because I was selling new products. I was making more sales than I am now. Or for some months I'm beating it. Some months like this last month I beat it like crazy. But my overall sales from last year are higher, but my overall profit, it doesn't even compare. Like, my profit, that was the issue, was day after day I was making sales, but day after day I was going in the negative with profit, and that just wasn't flying, man. And I tried to figure out what I can do to remedy that, and they just kept telling me diversify, buy seasonal products, this and that, but it just didn't make sense to me, because squeezing out those margins just wasn't there, unless you got a ton of money. Like they tell you, like, like books, I feel like you can start it with anything. You got $100, start today. You got $1,000, start today. But with OA or wholesale, man, they say, the influencers and stuff, they say you can start with anything. But man, I don't know if that's the case. Like, is the return that you're gonna get is so minuscule, so tiny, if you just spend $100 on a OA product. You know what I'm saying? You're literally gonna, if you spend $100 and you get 12% margins, is that $12? No, that's not even 12. Is it? Yeah, it's $12. Man, like I said, it's early. Anyways, it's super small. It's not gonna make any difference. But if you spend $100 and you make 65% margins, you know what I'm saying? Now we're talking. Now we're seeing some difference. Now we're rolling some money in, and it's actually making a difference. I don't know. I don't want to hate on the OA stuff, because I know it's lucrative. I know you can make a living off of it. It's difficult. Oh, what do we got here? This looks kind of promising. Let's see, we got 12. So that's 17, 18, 49. 49. That's not bad. I think it could go higher too. 49 might be the low. Yeah, 49 would be the low. Well, it could go lower, but ooh, it's been lower back here. See, I like it whenever this lowest use offer count. I like it whenever it's consistently high. But you can see that, like right here, it pops up. Doesn't really get many cells up there, but it pops up, and then it comes back down, and it pops up, and then it comes back down. Pops up, comes back down. But right here for the last year, I mean, it's been high. 33 might be the low. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on it just because of that. I don't think that its value is this high. I think it's a little inflated. You can definitely go for this book, and and you could get it sold, pretty quickly because it's selling pretty fast. But it's just not something I want to take a risk on. Pretty conservative, like I said earlier. Let's see here. Book form. Let's check this one out. I'm reading the covers, but it don't matter. Doesn't matter what the book's about. You'll find some raunchy books. You'll find some educational books. They all sell. I was getting so hyper focused on what book do I look for. Like, is it cookbooks? Is it this? Is it educational? All stuff like that. And it's like, no, they all sell, man. It just matters what the historical price is, or historical price and historical demand, and what you can buy it for. That's all that matters. I've sold all kinds of books, and there's really no pattern to it. The more in demand ones, I'm more skeptical with the more in demand ones. That they scare me to be like, either one, that the price will tank because there's so much demand, so there's there's going to be a lot of people looking at how they can get their hands on it, and the more people trying to do that, trying to find one book, especially, the higher the competition, and then it sometimes you'll tank the price. But but look at this one. So I clicked here, and I clicked right off because I looked right here and saw that the price is up here at 77, and that's why I was able to do that so fast. Even the Keepa graph's kind of showing that, but don't waste time. You see that it's offered at $12.95. You're like, okay, that's a good price for this Keepa graph. Looks really good, and you come in here and you see that $12.95 isn't right there, or something close to it isn't right there. Just click out, move on. That's the quick glance. That way you don't spend too much time on books that aren't worth it, because there's gonna be a lot. Like, definitely gonna be a lot. Let's see here. I'm not really finding much in this one. Let's see if we can't find some movies and TV. For me and my business, I've been FBMing all my DVDs and CDs. Main reason is because my prep center, I don't think will take DVDs and CDs. I feel like that's probably a headache for them. So whenever I do find a good one, I'll send it to myself, and then I'll just list it. It's pretty easy, like going from shipping out so many FBA shipments, and then turning to FBM only at home, and have my prep center do all FBM stuff. Man, it's a breeze. I can list like 30 DVDs in like 20 minutes, something like that. Super fast. Don't have to label it or anything. It's so nice. But FBM, I'm still learning it. I haven't been doing it very long, but I'm getting closer and closer, I feel like, to understanding it, because it's a tough one, because I don't know, it's not tough, wouldn't say that, but it's different. I'm trying to learn on how I need to do my repricer, because that's my biggest question I have with the FBM. It's like do you compete with FBA? Like, you're wanting the buy box, but the buy box is definitely going to favor FBA sellers. So do you not compete against them, or do you compete against them and try to see if Amazon will be gracious and give you the buy box? Or do you just try to stay in your lane and wait for FBA sellers to sell out? I don't know. I'm still learning that. But I'm messing with my my repricer right now. I went ahead and paid for the extra $100 on the Be Cool and got it to where I'm able to reprice it with the AI repricer with all my books. And on top of that, I'm doing a conditional repricer where, after 6 months, it starts dropping the percentage down. If the book hasn't sold in 6 months, I start dropping the percentage down to like 50, and then 7 months and 8 months, so on and so forth, keep dropping the percentage down. I've been selling all of my old books really fast, and that's the main reason I'm doing it. Because I'm tired of my books that I bought in 2023 still chilling and sitting in inventory, when it's like, I need to get that stuff out of here. If it hasn't sold in a year, my pricing is wrong, or the demand is just not even close to being there. So just have to clear it out. That way I can get my money back and put it into something that's actually going to sell. I've been keeping track of every single book that I've sold. Every single book that I've sold or DVD that I've sold, I'm tracking it. Putting it down that I've, I sold it, what I sold it for, yada, 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 all that. That way, next year, it'll be a lot easier, Like right now, I'm putting in the work for my future self to be able to, not have to work so hard on finding books, but, go back and buy the replens that I've already sold and know that they sell at, a certain price. Now, that doesn't always work out. Like, man, if I could count how many times I've sold something and then went and bought like 5 of them and then never been able to sell it for that price again, like that happens. Yeah, that's something you live and learn a little bit from, because there's one book, I can't remember what book it is, but it's a book that's about the Rockefellers. I sold it, I bought it, sold it immediately for like almost 200% ROI. I was like, heck yeah, bought it again, sold it immediately, same thing. Bought like 2 of them, sold them both immediately. And so I did, I think, one more time, sold it 5 times, and back to back to back. As soon as it checks in, it gets off the shelf. And so I was like, okay, I'm going deep on this book. This book is a good book. I bought 11 of them, and I haven't sold one of those 11 in like months. I'm just like, I got. It's, I would say that it's best to go, wide. Don't worry about going so deep, on books at least. It's kind of annoying, especially whenever you gotta, track each and every single book like this. Like, every single one of these lines is a book that I've bought. And I've bought 1,683, and that's how many lines there are. And there's actually more because I got some cancels and stuff. Like, whenever I get canceled, I just highlight it gray and let them know that they canceled it. But that's a lot of work. Like, this isn't a walk in the park. You ain't gonna start selling books and being like, man, this is the easiest thing ever. And that's a good thing. If it was easy, then we would have a crazy amount of competition that would just, it wouldn't be easy long, is what I'm saying. The competition would skyrocket and people would flood to this area. But the reason why people are more enticed, at least me, and I'm assuming more people, the reason why people are more enticed by the traditional OA or wholesale is because it's a little easier on the back end. Like, the back end work, like, instead of having all these lines, I would have one line and then 100, 100 products. And so I'm keeping track of, one product, how many times I sold it, and then I only have one buy cost. It's super, clean, easy to track. It's not all these each one, like, okay, I bought this book for this price and then I bought the same book for another price, so I gotta go in there and track that. It's a little bit of work on the back end. And that's why people kind of turn their nose up to it, because they think that they're better. They think that well, I don't need to do that work because I'm selling thousands of this product, when one book that I sold today will probably beat those 1,000 products in profit. Like that's what the crazy part is you could sell 1,000 of one product at 12% margins, and then you make $100 and you're like, woo. Like that's not, it's cool for some people if that's what you want, but that's what you got to think about, is like, you got $1,000 to spend. OA may not be good to go down that road right now, but if you got $10,000, it's a little different. If you got $20,000, if you got a lot of money, then you might be in a better situation to take advantage of that. For me, I'm starting at the bottom. I'm not. I think I started with $100 actually, or whatever money I had in each check it was coming in. I was just spending on books. It's not, if you start with money, this would be way easier to start. Now the continuing it be a little hard. It's kind of like working out. Like if you've worked out your entire life, it's easy to get into it because you've got what you need already to get into it. But if you're starting from the bottom, oh man, is it difficult to start going again. It is, oof. But the long term, both parties are going to struggle with that. Someone who doesn't really care about working out or doesn't really want to work out isn't going to last long term. And same with the person who's starting from the bottom. If he doesn't really want to do it and doesn't really want the results, then, he isn't going to last for long. But if either one of them want to last a long time, want to actually make something out of it, get into amazing shape, either one of them, they got to go past the motivation stage and get into that determination or drive phase, where you're doing it even whenever you don't want to do it. And that's what's going to push you past this point. That's what's going to push you to the I'm making real money now stage, but it takes some time. But I don't know, I'm going to end it here. I think I'm too focused on the talking part. But that's how I source. If you guys got any questions, let me know in the comments down below. If there's any books that I passed up that you probably would have went with, there's definitely some books that I would have went with in there. But you also have to balance what money you have. Like I have money right now, but I don't have like a lot of money to just be like, screw it, let's see what happens. Just buy it, because there's those situations where there's a book that's just on the line and you're like, but if you got the money, go for it, see what happens. It could surprise you, like that book that I showed you today. It could surprise you. But you're going to have to go through those screw it, let's see what happened moments in order to find the amazing books that you didn't think were going to be amazing. You know what I'm saying? But now that you found out that, wow, I could sell this book for that much, track that book, put it down on a spreadsheet, remember it, and then you'll be able to take advantage of it the next time that it, comes down in price and gets to a price where it's like, oh man, I can 100% ROI this. I could, make $100 off of this, just, that's the best thing that you can do in this business. And that takes a long time to get to the point where you're buying replens. I'm not at that point, and I've been doing this for a year. The OA books, I've been doing it for a year, and I'm getting to the point where replens are coming, more and more often, but it's not like every day that's all I'm buying is replens. I'm still searching for books. I'm still searching for the books that I have no idea about, you know. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch y'all next one. Later.